Welcome back, everyone, to EU Open Division Week 4. This is the second game. We got Eminence Academy taking on Quickstart. Once again, I am Trinok. I have Panda with me again, and a little bit of a different change. Zark not going to be casting this one. He's going to be sitting down there. How are you feeling, Zark?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it was an very exciting game that I just casted Eminence Esports versus Rejects, but happy to be on the desk with you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I definitely feel like the fun shall be had. Panda, you asked me to ask you this question because we're looking at the team sheets and neither of these teams really seem that comfortable on GOATs in terms of what they're putting down there. We have a guy who loves playing Tracer. You put Tracer twice. So you're saying we're going into Nepal now. It's a GOATs map that we're going to see GOATs, and I was disagreeing because of the team sheets. Why don't you tell me why you feel that these teams are going to be playing that GOATs meta?
Unless it's Sanctum, I don't really see us deferring too far away from the traditional GOATs composition. The only reason why I say this, and the only reason why I want to be asked this, is because you can list as many DPS heroes as you want. You can say that, yeah, I'm a support main, but I really like to play Ana. Doesn't matter. Zenyatta's better. And if you want to come in here and you want to play the heroes that you want to play, or you can play the heroes that you can play to win. And that's what I wanted to see out of these teams here today. Because both these teams are 6-0, much like the previous match. One of these teams are going to walk away with their loss. Are you going to divert too far away from the meta? Because we saw last match even with two teams that are very evenly matched, not stray too far away from the traditional GOATs comp, except for a very niche situation. And I think we might see the same thing out of these two teams. We have two teams here, one Academy, Team Quickstart Red. We know that they want to make it to playoffs, but how bad? Are they going to show it in their compositions? That's what I'm most excited for.
What could be interesting is watching Eminence, if Eminence win this outright, Eminence Academy, win this outright, if they go into playoffs and then they take on Eminence actually, that could be interesting to see what the difference between these two teams are. I mean, do they share a coaching staff? Are they strats differently? Zark, what is your opinion on how Academy is going to play compared to how Eminence played previously?
You know, if they do share a coaching staff, then we could see some more mind games, right? In the last match, we saw that Eminence Esports would pull out that single tank, triple DPS, and two main healers composition that really would force those tank-heavy compositions, the triple tank, triple support GOATs, to go back to spawn, switch on to dive, and it was just mind games. It was swapping back and forth. So if they do share a coaching staff, we could see some more of that happening again. But you know, both of these teams, looking at their team sheets, they have fairly flexible rosters. I would say Eminence Academy is a little bit more flexible than Team Quickstart. So really, we could see a lot of different things, but it does look like they share coaches. So we could see Eminence Academy pulling some of the same shenanigans we saw Eminence Esports pulling in the last match.
That would definitely be fun to watch. If they bring out the shenanigans, they definitely seem like a bit more of a meme team. I mean, it's a young team, youngest member being 14 years old, oldest confirmed member here being 16 years old. So young, they got reflexes, they have reaction. And the reason I say they're a meme team is one of their interesting play history is one of their team members played with 5 French guys in his previous team. So that was something that they thought was relevant. Panda, what do you think the youth aspect, how do you think that's going to play here? Is it going to affect how they approach the match in terms of patience, experience, and so forth?
Let's put it this way, right? So EXO is the one that played with the 5 French guys in the previous team, and I think as a main tank going into this current patch of Overwatch, you need a stress check, and I think that's going to be one of them, right? You have to understand that there's going to be a lot of pressure that's going to be playing around in these compositions, and all of that pressure will be exerting onto the main tank of EXO. He needs to show his composure on the front line to keep his shield up, his health pool static around 300 HP, buffering in and out of armor, because we know that you know, basically health bars in Overwatch these days are up and down as the weather these days. But I'm more or less looking for Eminence Esports, the one to make the biggest impact. You said it, as a 14-year-old, the youngest player on this team, Bader. He used to play for HSL Academy. His tracer is fantastic. He has amazing tracking. If they end up deferring towards the GOATs composition, I'd probably see this player in particular play the Zarya role. I have seen it before. Lots of damage to come out of this player in particular, probably going to be the high impact member for Eminence Academy going into this match for sure. And I think going forward off of that, when you have all these young players, on paper, it definitely shows a deficit going against Team Quickstart Red. However, when you're going and you're looking down the ladder of Eminence Esports Academy, I mean, you have 2 members that previously played with Samsung Morningstar's Academy, and then you also have another member that has played with Elotic Academy and French Animals in the previous season as well. So they definitely have some formal Overwatch experience, and they're definitely ready to take it to Quickstart.
Do you think this formal, I'm going to throw this to Zog actually, do you think the formal Overwatch experience is going to trump the experience of Quickstart, who have put down here that they haven't had many tournament experiences? This is probably their first real tournament that they're playing in.
You know, I think for Team Quickstart, while, you know, they have some tournament experience, and then with Eminence Academy, they do have some work. They've worked previously with some academy teams. I think in the end, what's really going to give the edge is that Team Quickstart, they've been playing as a team for around 4 months. That's a good amount of time to build some synergy, you know, figure out how to play around each other, work out those comms issues. And then on the flip side, Eminence Academy, they've only been around since as a full team since the 10th of December. So that's a little bit fresher.
Fresh and young. Fresh and young. That is the highlight of Esports Eminence Academy. So let's see what they can pull out the bag as we toss to our casters of Spaceman and Beat.
Thank you very much, Trinok. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, we are here. It's Eminence Esports Academy versus Team Quickstart. Both teams here 18-0 on their map win percentage here. And we're going to Nepal first. What do you reckon about that, Beatdown?
Well, we are starting off on Sanctum, like Pokemon Panda said, at the desk. This is probably the only time on this map you're going to see any real serious variations from the GOATS comp of the GOATS comp. I'm really expecting something along the lines of maybe, you know, that Orisa GOATS that we've been seeing up in the tier 2 scene. It's really prominent but it's the problem with that one is you need to win first fight. And if you win first fight, you keep the composition, but as soon as you lose, you do have to swap. Running the dive goats is also an option here too. I see one side is definitely hovering over that option. Other side's actually running the Ryan Winston. Really want to see how that's going to play out. Or if they even stick with it.
That is an interesting choice. They might not choose to stick with it here, but we've got Zen Goats with the Winston coming out from Eminence here. That's pretty standard. And they're coming around the outside. Both teams choosing to take the high ground here. We see the dive now coming out from that Winston of Exo, but the rest of his team fall in the back line. And I think it's going to be a pretty quick victory here for Team Quickstart.
Yeah, I think Eminence Academy, a little bit of a slow to start, I think, because this comp doesn't really make any sense to me. The comp that we're seeing from Team Quickstart, you know, sacrificing the D.Va for the Winston really doesn't net you very much. You lose so much damage mitigation, so I really wonder how that's going to work out. Exo now going to make the swap onto the Rhine. They're going for the classic Zen Goats, and they're probably just looking to take advantage of the lack of damage here.
But Beta Day getting the early pick onto Flame could prove pivotal. Now Eminence are getting aggressive here, getting all the kills, and they're going to be able to flip this back pretty early on.
Yeah, Flem dying a little bit too early, kind of exposing the issues here with this comp. Again, no D.Va, no problem here for Eminence Academy. They are now going to win this, and it seems like they're catching up in this ult economy. However, they are still behind. A lot of good ults online for the side of Quickstart. We're probably going to see Honungen try and bring out that Graviton Surge.
Well, we see rallies coming out from both sides now, and that Graviton as well coming. Honungen, there's the follow-up as well. The rest of it pouncing and getting those kills. And this has been so back and forth already. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Doggo just fills up the trance as he dies, isn't able to bring it online for the Graviton Surge, but not the worst. See, the thing is, actually, we're going to get a replay of this Graviton Surge. Really worked out for them. But the issue now for Quickstart is that Eminence is coming back with both support ults, with the bigger bang combo, even the Earth Shatter, and if Eminence Academy plays this right, they can actually build their economy so that they can actually just cycle this all the way to the point.
And we see the Graviton, I think it was denied in the Shatter. Well, we've got an ult fiesta going on here from both sides, and looks as though Team Quickstart is happy to pull back onto point here, play this pretty defensively. Eminence now pushing up. They have that shatter in the bank. Exo looking for an opportunity to use it here. Does not want to waste it, but Lockstar there goes down early on. There's the D-Mech onto Ryan as well, and they're going to have to back up now and regroup.
Quickstart, oh my goodness. Huge eat from Holy Muffins. It completely threw off Eminence Academy. They were expecting this grab to land. As soon as it is, you can clearly see a difference in their tempo. They got a little shaken up, like, oh, the grab is eaten. Like, what do we do now? They didn't really end up using very much of anything else. So now they're going into one fight territory. And Quickstart has everything they need to just hold them here at the door.
And look at this, and Ungun just waiting to use that grab. Flem comes out with the rally, giving a little bit of extra sustain to Team Quickstart. However, look at this, Eminence pushing in with that Graviton and Lockstar there. Finishing off Holy Muffins. This could prove pivotal for this particular fight. And we see the Graviton coming out. It's another ult fiesta here. Both teams using all the ults in the bank. Team Quickstart wanting to win out here. And oh my gosh, that shatter coming out there from Dons. Managing to kill Puds there as well. This could be what they need to finish off this fight. It's just Exo left alone, trying to keep the dream alive on this first map. But Sanctum will go to Team Quickstart.
I was a little bit worried when Quickstart didn't, they had the grab and a lot of strong ultimates. I was a little concerned when they didn't decide to hold that main chokeway, kind of hoping to surprise them if they were to come out on the right side. But that's a really risky one, and they almost suffered for it. Because if you make a hold like that, then they can just go the other way. But they actually rotated very quickly. It still worked out for them. A little shaky there towards the end, but they did manage to finish. So now we're going to go here onto Village. Quickstart covering an interesting composition right now. I'm not sure if they're actually going to keep it, or maybe they're just messing with us.
We'll see what they do, because
Yeah.
I'd like to see some May play, perhaps, on Village here. We sometimes see that.
May is very strong here. Well, it looks like the DPS composition from Quickstart is going to come out. Yeah, and we're going to have the Mercy there, Far Mercy composition. This could work out really well. It's all going to be on Dan's here to just completely disrupt Eminence Academy and just make room for Honningen and Flem to get a lot of damage in here. Wow, look at this push.
This is pretty crazy at the moment. We're getting a lot of damage pumped in from Flem. Already nearly at 50% towards the barrage there. Point hasn't even unlocked yet. Puds with the move onto RB the best as well. Goes for a little trip down the side of the mountain there. And wow, that was a pretty interesting first fight there, Pete.
Yeah, very rare you see a team push that far, almost to their spawn before the point even opens, but it definitely contributed to their cap. Some pretty good ult charge built up, but look at Flem and Honningen both have their really high damage ultimates, so they're gonna wanna, this is how they're gonna make their push, them being Quickstart Academy. They need to get something, actually no, they abandoned both their ultimate. I don't see that, I don't agree with that. You have some DPS ultimates. I know you didn't win first fight, but to just throw away ult percentage and go for the Goats comp, now you're behind an ult charge, so this is a bad position for Quickstart.
Yeah, both teams now battling it out on the point. We see the early coalescence coming out from Doggo there, just trying to keep the rest of his team alive. Both teams battling it out. But look at that kill feed. Everything is in red there. I think we're going to see the flip.
It did end up working out for them, and wow, actually, they built up some pretty quick ult charge. Look at Dan's already on the Shatter. Holy Muffins has the bomb as well. So Quickstart definitely not dead in the water just yet. I think Eminence kind of let them, they took too much of a passive approach, and now they lost point. So they're going to take this high ground approach, but Quickstart's already ready for it, and they definitely have some ults to hold too.
They do have some ults indeed, and now look at this. We've got Eminence coming over the top here. They're looking to just take this to point. We see the Shatter coming out early on. Is there much follow-up here? No, there isn't. We've got the D-Mech note onto Ryan. Again, could prove important in this fight. Both teams just happy to brawl it out using all their cooldowns there. And look at this is chaos. This is like a rugby scrimmage there. But again, the kill feed is red, and it's at 40% already.
Yeah, good ult economy here from Team Quickstart, only committing the Shatter, only committing the rally, and big props to Dan's getting behind Exo, pinning him back against the wall is pretty much what ensured his demise. Now 51% in climbing. Quickstart are still looking pretty good here, about to have double support ult and the grab, although Eminence Academy is just about to have every ult in the book.
They're pushing in with some of those ults already. The rally there from Lockstar giving his team some extra sustain, but sustain might not matter. Look at this. Point. Ryan managing to kill Honungen there, just the extra damage from that Graviton pushing him off. Rayan as well doing a very good job here of killing his opposite number. Both Reinhardts charging into each other on point, trying to get the picks. But this is looking blue this time around. This could be what Eminence need. As I say, that Lockstar does go down, but the rest of the team is on the point there. They're looking to finish up, and Beta doing such a good job on that Zarya. Such high charge, just melting the opposite team with that beam.
And then the best part about it is that Quickstart, you know, they expended so many ultimates and they still lost the point. This is going to make it a lot easier for Eminence to actually build some ults and cycle their way to 100%. Just getting above 50 right now. Still have the trans. Bader's going to get that grab. You know, he didn't die. He still has that energy maintained. But keep an eye out on Honungen, who's about to have the grab as well. Hopefully he doesn't get eaten this time around.
Trying not to get that grab eaten, but look at this Quickstart putting so much pressure on Beta. They want to make sure that he does not have that charge, but Lockstar gets the early pick up to Flaushy. Beta with a life, but doesn't matter. Look at that kill feed. All those kills so in such quick succession there, Beta.
Yeah, they actually didn't commit any ults for this fight anyway, so that you absolutely love to see it. They're still ready. We're approaching last fight territory. This time for Eminence Academy, they have all the tools in the chest that they need to actually hold this. And if Quickstart want to get onto the point, it's all going to be about denying the ultimates from Eminence.
Yeah, they're going to need a quick start here to get onto the point. They do so with the armor from Flem. We see both grabs come out. It's another OPS there on Rayan. Self-destruct that finds Flaushy. Kill feed is blue, and we're going to be going to a third map here on our first control point.
Yeah, really good win here for Eminence. That last fight, it was so important that Rayan's bomb managed to find the value, and it did. Getting the kills, whereas opposed to Holy Muffins didn't actually get it in time for that last fight. So the grab from the side of Eminence Academy just got more value by virtue of that bigger bang combo.
Let's see that last fight. We've got the replay here. I mean, look at that. It's absolutely crazy there from both teams. I love how back and forth this match has been so far, and I couldn't call it right now, Beats.
Say it. Wait, what do you mean by call it?
Like, I can call who's going to win this. Like, it's been so close so far.
Yeah. Although it is early on, it was definitely very exciting. And now we're going to see just the Zen Goats. Actually, I'm mistaken. Bader is going to be on this May. I'm really confused as to why you don't run that on the Village. I really don't feel that it's going to find as much value here. But hey, I mean, you're good enough. You can make a lot of different things work. I'm just not too hopeful.
Beta on the May, perhaps trying to bait the opposite team somewhat. And both teams now on the point. We see the wall come out, which denies any retreat from Team Quickstart here, but they just rotate around the point, and they're getting the kills here as well. Love to see the boot there from Flaushy onto Beta, and they're going to take this point there.
And this is what I mean by whoever you're subbing out the Diva for in these Goats compositions, because obviously you need the Rein Zarya, you have to make sure that it is very map specific, that you can make use of you can still make use despite the fact that you have lost so much utility from Diva's kit. But, you know, on a map like this where there are so many routes, a Mei wall doesn't really matter that much, so it's not worth sacrificing the Diva. Not a lot of ult charge in that first fight either.
We see another wall coming up from Beta. Doesn't really manage to catch much. The rest of Eminence here, just playing that corner, trying not to take too much poke damage, but Puds does fall, so it is a 6v5. And look at this. Team Quickstart just choosing to get aggressive now. They know they've got the numbers advanced, and they're getting those kills. They're getting those stacks.
Yeah, gotta give a lot of props to Flaushy too. I really like the way he's playing the Lucio. Always just above on the high ground, using all the architecture, continuously disrupting Eminence Academy. You know, not letting them take the engages they want to, and it's been really helpful so far in Team Quickstar's hold on to the point. 50% and counting. Last fight, they didn't really even use any ults. They're about to have the big six themselves. Eminence Academy struggling a little bit. They're only just now building up the Blizzard. Beta, I really hope it's worth it.
Well, we'll see how Beta does with this, because Quickstart are still on the point. They're happy to just let that percentage tick up in their favor. Here comes the grab as well. We see a Shatter coming out to try and stop the advance there from Quickstart. However, Puds has fallen already. Here is the Blizzard we were talking about. The entirety of the team is frozen there. Beta managed to get the pick on Flem. Beta gets 2k there. However, Lockstar does fall. There's kills on both sides here, and there's a lot of red on point. A lot of Team Quickstart, and they're racking up the kills here. Look at this, Dan's with the kills. We will go to a short pause. pause, but look at the percentage here: 86% in favor of Team Quickstart, and one of the players seems to have dropped as well from Eminence here. So two of them, so they're going to have to come back with 0 ult percentage. I think this is probably going to go to Team Quickstart, but it's been relatively close so far.
Yeah, I mean, disconnect notwithstanding, it does seem pretty cut and dry at this point. The Mei continuously proving not to be very useful on this map. Even Bader had the opportunity to at least, block Team Quickstart from attempting to take advantage of the Graviton Surge, but the wall was a little bit too far. It's one of those things where this is already a map where Mei is not very ideal. So if you're going to try to make it work, these little mistakes cannot happen. And disconnect or not, it doesn't seem like anything is going to change.
Yeah, I mean, the Blizzard did well. Beta managed to get a 2k out of it, but the problem was the rest of his team fell around him, so they couldn't win out on that fight. But they're going to get. I mean, I'm going to assume they're going to lose out. I mean, they're at such a bad disadvantage now. They need something miraculous to come back and win out on this particular map here. So if they do lose here, which I suspect they will, we're going to be going to an escort map, either Dorado or Route 66, and. Their choice there could be quite interesting. We've seen a lot of quad DPS on Route 66 and contenders and an open division, etc. Do you think they go that route, or do they just go Dorado and maybe try and play some dive and some long range sniper comps on second point?
I could expect them going Dorado just for the fact that maybe they're more comfortable with those DPS heavy compositions. Because like we were saying on the desk earlier on, they don't seem very comfortable. Neither teams, that is, on playing the GOATS composition. So maybe it depends on, I think it really depends on how this first map goes. Neither teams are confident on this GOATS comp, and based on how that interaction goes, I think that's when the decision, like, okay, they are better than us at this GOATS comp significantly. We need to switch it up. We need to do something that we're better at. Or maybe Eminence decides, you know what? I think we're still solid on the GOATS comp. The Mei just wasn't cutting it. So it really depends on how they feel about this first map and their performance.
Well, I think Panda said it on the desk before this game even began. It's not always about playing the heroes that you are good at and that you like playing. Sometimes you've got to play the synergistic heroes, and that's why Goats is so popular, because it is so synergistic. And we saw on the team sheets before the game, a lot of these players are DPS players. They like Tracer, they like those style of heroes, and I think maybe the map picks could open up, especially if they pick Route 66 here, opportunities for them to play those sort of heroes. And if they don't like the GOATS matchup against Team Quickstart here, maybe they do go Route 66, go for that quad DPS on first point there, and just play with all of those open sight lines on second.
Yeah, definitely could work out for them. But again, it depends on how they feel here. It would pretty much be like you'd have to really commit to that quad DPS too if you're gonna play on Dorado. That's the thing. Like if you back out part way, it is gonna end up just being a Ghost v Ghost matchup. And I thought we got baited. I thought we were gonna unpause for a second.
We do have a beta on one of the teams, so no doubt we are going to.
Oh, hold on. We got the timer going, and we're actually everybody's back.
We are back in game here, but 90% in favor here of Team Quickstart. Eminence going to be able to get back to point. They might be able to touch it, but we've got another pause here. I don't think Pubs is back in the game.
Maybe not really. Yeah, and there he goes. Unfortunate. Before he could even select his hero, he is back into the ether of no internet.
And that's really, really unfortunate. But I think at this point anyway, Team Quickstart had the advantage. So if you are going to get a disconnect, this is probably the best time to do it. You don't want to disconnect when you're ahead in the game, right? So
yeah.
And it's been pretty close so far. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this disconnect. Hopefully Pubs gets back soon. We can wrap up here on Busan, and they're going to be able to pick their next map. We're going to be able to go on to one of those escort maps. And we haven't really talked about that. So escort is entirely different from control. And sometimes you see teams that win out on control fairly convincingly and then don't do so well on the escort and assault and hybrid maps, right?
Yep.
Whereas this time, I think the control has been fairly even between these two teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how they change their strategies, how they adapt on the different style of maps coming up.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about Eminence just simply using the Mei here on Nepal Shrine that does say a little bit about the strategies they like to employ. And, again, we're at this point in the open division. Both teams here are 6-0. This is like, are you going to play what you like to play? Or are you going to play what's going to win you the game? Maybe they think the Mei strat is the strat to go with, but so far that is not the case. Hopefully they realize this time, if we do go to a map 5, if we do play another control map, they try to go that route again. Hopefully this will be their lesson. Like, you know what? I mean, it doesn't work. Let's play Diva.
Well, we saw Eminence Esports, so not the academy team. We saw them in the matchup prior to this game, and they did such a good job of adapting to their opponents, switching heroes when they needed to. And we know that they've got the Esports Academy, Eminence Esports Academy here, have the same coach as Eminence Esports. So maybe they're going to be able to bring that hero swap advantage into the maps to come, because these control points are very goats heavy. You don't really have as much of an opportunity to do that, but certainly on the escorts, assaults, hybrids, they will have the opportunity to do that. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring some of the same strategies and adaptations that their father team, so to speak, did in the matchup before.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping that will end up being the case. This is a little more rigid of a map, a lot less opportunity to play around with the strats a little bit. It's mostly like, you're just gonna play goats. Yeah, that's what you do. Not like when we saw Busan in the last game. We saw swaps here, some really good swaps from both sides actually. So I think it's that was more flexible of just the map in general. So hopefully this time around, like you said, when we get onto different game types, we'll probably see more out of both teams, ideally.
Yeah, and Team Quickstart have been around for longer. They've been around for roughly 4 months, I believe, whereas the Eminence Academy have been around since mid-December sort of time. So I think once you've played with your teammates for a certain period, you're more comfortable making those hero swaps, whereas if you're a fairly new team, you want to stick to perhaps the meta, perhaps what you think does well on the different maps, and you don't know your teammates well enough just to change on the fly. But I could be wrong there. Maybe with the coaching that Eminence Esports Academy are getting, they're going to be able to bring that to bear. But both teams here, as I said, fairly even. It's just a shame we got the disconnect here, and hopefully we will be getting back into the action fairly. But we are going to take a quick break. We will be back as soon as we can get back into the action, so don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back. We are back in the action here between Eminence Esports Academy and Team Quickstart, and it's right at the end of Nepal here. We see all the kills. Here. We did have a little bit of a disconnect, so unfortunate there at the end for Eminence Academy. However, as we were saying earlier, it's been a pretty close matchup so far, Beat. So we're going to be going to next map now, and Eminence are going to have a chance to make a comeback.
Yeah, definitely not over just yet. And yeah, it does suck for the disconnect. But again, like I was saying before, they're at a point where it's like, it didn't really matter. So at the very least, Eminence cannot feel too bad. Like you said earlier, Spaceman, it's like, hey, it's better now when they're about to finish off an escort map. And it's like, hey, our flex support just kind of disconnected, unfortunately.
And we were talking about maps early on, and it looks like we're probably going to be going to Route 66 here. We did talk about that. We did talk about maybe them playing some quad DPS. Do you reckon we're going to see that, or are they just going to like go or quad tank out of the door and perhaps try and get a couple of team fights on first point?
Ooh, I don't know. I actually, I would like to. I'm probably going to guess. If I had to guess, I would just say that I'm going to bet teams are going to stick to the goats. I actually would be surprised if I saw a quad DPS composition. Although these guys are comfy on the DPS, maybe they, especially Eminence, after that last round, trying something a little different. That kind of conditions you in a sense where you're like, oh, nope, different is bad, meta is good. And I don't know if I'd call quad DPS meta per se, although it is a very good strat to work here. That's one of those, like, your coordination needs to be on point, your mechanics have to be on point, like, just it requires it's a more of a greedy comp. It's just in the way that, like, it asks a lot of you as the team.
I totally agree there, Beats. Maybe we'll see some Mei on defense as well, because we have seen the Mei bunker strat where people just hide in that sort of underground tunnel there and just try and delay the payload from going around that corner. So
Yeah.
we might see some of that. I think there's so many options there. I'm just excited to see how both teams tackle it.
I would actually love if they do the bunker strat. I've even seen it in, like, contenders teams rather actually do it some occasionally as well. And it's really great if you can force them to use ults to get you out, because A, you wasted a lot of time. B, you wasted their ults, and then you can swap to mirror them, and you're not going to be nearly as behind as you could have been.
Indeed, and both teams now able to lock in their heroes. Let's ignore the attack so far, because we know they love to bait us in spawn. But look at the defense here.
Oh boy!
Oh, Lockstar though.
It's the Slambulance.
Oh my gosh, it is quad tank Slambulance. They are going to be putting early pressure on.
Yeah, this is actually pretty common on Route 66 as well on point A. You don't really see a lot of teams go for the GOATS defense. It's more of, this really tank-heavy comp, and oh man, they're going to just jump right at them in spawn. Unless you have a Hanzo team, Quickstart are not going to see this coming at all.
They're going to be really, really surprised by this. Obviously, the defense here just want to get more team fights. That's why they're taking this early and aggressive approach. They're going in with a quad tank, just looking to delay, maybe get 1 or 2 picks here, charge up their ults, certainly charge up the ultimates of the supports, because they've got so many tanks to heal here. But look at this, Quickstart going up on the high ground, managing to rotate and outflank this quad DPS, and Holy Muffins gets the early pick onto Exo, and now it's all about the Academy here, just staying on point, delaying for as long as possible, so that they get as many team fights on this first point as possible.
Too bad I don't believe Doggo actually managed to get the Coalescence in time to save Exo. That's ideally what you want to do, because like you said, you want to get as many team fights out as possible, and on top of that, this is like you need as much healing as possible for comps like this, because at the end of the day, you just want to brawl. If you're playing passively, you're just gigantic ult batteries for the enemy team, and it is showing. One fight, Team Quickstart are 80+% on all of their ultimates, about to have the big 6, and we're a minute into this round.
Eminence here have taken the high ground. They made some hero swaps as well. They knew they were only going to get one more fight here. They were happy to take these swaps early because of that. And now they're just playing to go. But we see the Shatter come out, 3 on their back. The rest of Team Quickstart here pushing forward, trying to get those kills. Holy Muffins is team expert. Doesn't really matter too much. We see Puds come out with the sound barrier, but again, this is just going to be stalling and delaying. Look at that kill feed, all in favor of Team Quickstart. They're going to be able to finish up.
Yeah, Rand eating the grab again. Still not enough for his team. Oh, that could have been so big, but still, they managed to shave 2 minutes off the clock before Cap A. Definitely not the worst. Eminence do still have a chance to be in the game here, and luckily for them, I think they forced more ults than necessary out of Team Quickstart. So this is still a good chance for them to come back. Bigger Bang combo is online, just a little behind on the support ults. And look at Team Quickstart, they still have both of them.
Oh, we see the self-destruct come out. Can they catch anyone? Yes!
Oh, no!
Beta! Exo falls as well. Okay, you take the aggressive defense here, but you pay the price for it, and that payload will get moved.
And that is the worst person to get taken out by the bomb. They needed Bader in this fight for the damage, for the Graviton Surge, but him dying loses all of that. Not to mention all the Zarya charge he had built up. He now has to start back at 0, and no support ults taken from Quickstart. Winning a fight with just a bomb, Spaceman, you love to see it.
Oh, you do indeed. That is efficiency in a nutshell. And now we see the Graf come out onto the high ground there. Doesn't manage to catch much. Beta, in fact, gets the pick onto Flem, forcing the Transcendence there out of I'll Be the Best. Just backing up to keep your team alive. But I like the patience here from Team Quickstart. They're happy to back off. They've used a few cooldowns. They don't want to engage whilst they are down. And they're hoping that their teammate is going to be able to get back before they take this fight here. And the rest of Eminence just backing up as well.
Yeah, I'll be the best. Unfortunately, you know, that Zenyatta just trigger where you see they automatically use the Transcendence, but Bomb's going to come out and take Hoenigan.
And it is good there as well. We see the Transcendence coming out from Doggo, just keeping the defense alive. They're pushing forward, getting some staggers, getting some kills. And Tony Buffin says, no, I'm going to regroup my team.
And this is kind of the chance for Eminence now, going back into the spawn, building up some ult charge, getting some staggers. This is kind of their chance to finally dig their heels in, get this defense really going. They have the Shatter still. Puds has the sound barrier. Luckily, they managed to bait the Trans out of I'll Be the Best. But look at him, 80% to another one, the Madman.
That is absolutely crazy. We see Riley's out on both sides. A little bit of extra save. We see the Shatter, though, coming out from Dance. Sound barrier in response as well. Shatter in response. See the self-destruct coming out. Doesn't catch anyone. However, the Grav managed to catch Flaushy, who is finished off by Ryan. Kills there in favor of the defense at the moment, forcing out the Transcendent there from I'll Be the Best, who wants to keep his team alive, see if they can get some picks to even this up, and I'll Be the Best does just that, sending his orbs into the face of Puds, and now look at this! Team Quickstart have turned this around.
I'll Be the Best, getting dink after dink. This guy is coming so big for his team, halfway to another Trans yet again, Spaceman. Look at this. He is just lapping Doggo right now, and that's kind of the issue, you know, not enough damage from the other side. Doggo would have been great for his team, got more damage in, built the Transcendence, and managed to keep the 4 of them alive. They might have actually made a stall here, but it didn't really work. Eminence doesn't care. They're still going for it.
Yeah, they love this aggressive defense strategy. They're going in, trying to get some kills here.
Oh.
The Shatter comes out. However, there is a grab that catches them all in there, but there's a Transcendence to save them from Doggo, and they're happy to take this fight early, buy some time, charge up some ultimates, and now they're backing off, being a little less aggressive. However, can Beta get out of there? Just manages to do so, and Flaushy falls. This is exactly what the defense wants.
Yeah, I would have called this like a perfect defense if they just didn't commit the Trans. They got 2 big ults out of Eminence. They didn't really need to extend this fight, but they're actually still looking pretty good here. They are about to come up on the 5 ults, and the only starts really going to get past this. You know, they eat the grab. They need to be denying this and getting some key picks.
Oh gosh, but here we go. Oh my god, that bomb
Bader
catches Beta. It's a 6v5. We see the sound barrier come out from Puds. Keeps some sustain on his team. They want to get some counter picks. We see the self-destruct come out as well from Ray. It doesn't manage to catch much, but Exo manages to finish off his opposite number Dance there. So both teams getting picks here. Both teams using ultimates. And I didn't see that grab. Did that get eaten? It doesn't matter because the Shatter's now out from Exo. Now the offense here is getting a few kills of their own, and Team Quickstart finishing it off, but that got a lot of ults out of them.
Yeah, 2 things. One, I feel bad for Rayon every time he eats a grab. His team ends up losing the fight. And the other thing I want to say is I'm pretty sure Bader owes Holy Muffin money. Because every time the bomb goes off, it's always directed towards him. And now they're coming back here. Eminence out of the spawn, a little behind on this ult charge. They have the Trans though. It's going to buy them time. They need to use it to get aggressive, build more ult charge. Hopefully Rayan can come big with this self-destruct, because otherwise it's going to be hard. 90 seconds left on the clock, and Puds is going to go down.
goes down early. This might be exactly what Team Quickstart need, and they are quick starting here. They're pushing forward. The Transcendence coming out from Doggo to try and keep the defense alive until the rest of the team can get back. But the picks are in favor of the offense. And look at this Beta is just flanking here on this Zarya, trying to get some picks. But Rayan's the one that does get the pick onto Dan's there. We see both rallies come out from both Brigittes. We've got ult coming out. Self-destruct from Rayan catches Flaushy. This is exactly what Eminence needed on that defense. And there's less than a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, Dance is way deeper than he had any business being, and immediately gets punished by Doggo for it. Just flinging those orbs right into his face, building that ult charge. He's already up to 60%. Just needs to get it a little bit further if they're going to get this for the last fight. 30 seconds left, but a lot of ults on the side of Team Quickstart. This is going to be really difficult for Eminence Academy unless they can build up their support ults very quickly, and Bader's grab does not get eaten.
But that grab didn't get eaten, but it also didn't catch anyone. It was perhaps a tad too early there. Holy muffin, no. Oh my gosh, Beta getting the... And we see the shatter now coming out from Dan's. Doesn't catch anyone. Yes, it does. Holy Muffin's pushing for... Gets the kill with the self-destruct there. Transcendence now coming out from Doggo, buying his team time, trying to keep those members of his team that are on point alive, just so they can stall up so the rest of the team can get back and maybe try and win out here. But they're staggered so badly, I'm not sure if they can. They're coming back out to point. Exo's got the shatter. This might be able to change things. Cannot waste it in this situation. He's cornered though. He's not able to do much here. Now we see the shatter. It does connect with Dan's. However, the rest of Team Quickstart are able to back him up there. Hanungan getting the pick on some pods there. However, Luckstar manages to finish off Dan's. But there is the Graviton. There's the self-destruct though from Rayan. Does get a pick on Hanungan, but the rest of his team is dead there. Now we see the counter self-destruct from Holy Muffins, and Holy Muffins it catches Doggo and finishes this round up for us.
Yeah, really good of them to isolate Exo the way that they did. If he got that shatter on, more than just the Reinhardt, I think that fight could have actually been turned. They would have there was definitely a good shot that they could have just held just before the end here, but it was a really good play regardless. And now, finished in overtime, but it is Esport, so, they're still going to have time. And Eminence Academy is going to have to finish this if they even want to start thinking about overtime rounds.
But if they manage to finish it with some time left on the clock, like even 2 minutes can be extremely important here. So and both teams seem quite evenly matched, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, without a doubt. So you see, for the most part, I think Eminence Academy is just struggling a bit with like their choice of what ult to use when. I don't really. Well, I'm not trying to be mean. What I'm trying to say is like I think they just need to be a little more strategic with how they use their ults, because for the most part they commit them very well. But there are some really key fights where you think, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And I know it's easy to say, hindsight, just don't use your trans forehead. But the point still stands. It's really, Overwatch is a game of ults more than anything else. And if you're not using them correctly, if you're not cycling properly, especially in this particular meta, you're going to lose.
Yeah, I think Team Quickstart here just have the edge on ult usage there. The longer the fights went on, the more it became advantageous to them, because they were using their ults after Eminence here. And they're going to take an early aggressive start here. Not with Quad Tank, but with Zen Goats. Looking to pounce, perhaps, on to Eminence. That's exactly what they're doing right now. And Doggo, this could be huge. This is the sort of defense they want, but Beta picks off Dan's. It's a 5v5, spawn advantage in favor of the attackers, but doesn't really matter here. Look at this. Flaushy finishes off Beta with a punch, and wow, what an excellent defense.
Excellent indeed, but you'll see that Eminence were no slouches in that fight. They actually built a decent amount of ult percentage as well. They're not looking too bad, not too far behind. The only notable difference really is Doggo on the trans. 40% of his, his opponent here, and all be the best. This guy builds these so quickly, gets so much damage in. And now, finally, Eminence are getting around this corner. Exo is going to have to land in this shatter. He's about to get it online.
Yeah, both teams just rolling it out on the corner. I mean, they've got to know Exo nearly has his shatter up, and Flem uses that rally. Both rallies, actually, from both Brigittes. A lot of sustain, but Doggo gets the early pick onto Dan's. This could be huge. This might be what Eminence need here to win out. It is a 6v5 at the moment. And Dan's had his shatter online as well. So super important Luckstar there. Getting the D-Mech, finishing off his opposite number, Flem, flailing away air, and Beta just finishing off RB as well. This is what they needed to get that cut.
Yeah, I gotta say, Flaushy must be an irritating Lucio to play against because I see this guy hopping around, constantly disrupting Eminence. So I could see Bader just like trying to get some damage in, gets knocked to the side. It would really get to me, and I think that disruption is really good for Team Quickstart. It's why the fact that it took so long for Eminence to finally get them off the point. So now they're gonna go for the second fight here.
They are indeed, but we see the Shatter coming out, counter Shatter as well, so the real follow-up. We've got goals coming out on both sides, but Holy Muffins, ooh, with that self-destruct. Holy Muffins just been hitting those self-destructs all series long, and look at this, look at the aggression from the defense here. Team Quickstart just choosing to kill Beta there as well, get the stagger, and wow, there's only just under 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, those first two fights were quite long, and now Eminence kind of sweating a little bit, but not too much. They got some really good ults here in the tank, although Bader has to start over with his ult charge, or sorry, with his Zarya energy. Ult charge not quite at 50%, so this is going to be tough for him to build it in this next fight. It's really going to be off of Rain's self-destruct, because I don't think they want to wait for the grab.
But we see the self-destruct coming out from Rain. Can it catch anyone?
Hey!
Yes! Honungun goes down with 6v5. Bloodstar gets the pick on the stands as well. This should be all over.
And that is the value of getting that instant kill on the Zarya. So much damage gone. So much damage mitigation, the projected barrier gone. And now again, Honungun has to start that energy over at 0. Bader is now about to build up a grab on his own. And you see Eminence are getting a little aggressive here.
They are indeed. They're looking to create some space, get that cart through that door. It has to pause for a little while before it starts moving. But Team Quickstart just happy to play the poke game here, just try and charge up a few ultimates. They get to choose really when they engage here, and it looks like it's going to be soon because Dan's there just trying to get out of the sight line of the enemy Zenyatta to get rid of that Discord orb, but the bubble from the Zarya manages to do so, and now Team Quickstart are going to engage, but they're engaging into the sound barrier of Puds. We see the Shatter come out as well. They are all caught in a Graviton, but there is the Transcendence from I'll Be the Best, keeping his team alive, and now we see a self-destruct from Holy Muffins catching Beta. Beta's been caught with a lot of self-destructs this match, and again, an excellent defense. They're getting the kills they need, and they've stopped the car exactly where they wanted to stop it.
Luckily for Eminence, Quickstart used both their support ults in that fight just as well as they did. So now they're definitely not on the back foot just yet, I would say. They're coming out of spawn here. Despite Team Quickstart's aggressive hold, Exo does have the Shatter. There's definitely some playmaking potential here.
Yeah, they're coming out the doors of the rally, getting aggressive. Eminence
no.
Oh my gosh, that Shatter. Not any real follow up there, and now Team Quickstart happy to back off and play the long game, play patiently here. They, even if they lose a fight here, they're definitely going to get a second. So they're going in. Now they're choosing to get a bit more aggressive. Now the grab comes out as well. Luckstar is caught in it, and Exo falls as well. Luckstar's finished off by Honungun, and I mean, these defenses have been just nigh on perfect here from Team Quickstart.
And Exo in that last fight, going for that really long chasing I'll Be the Best, almost like he's a Winston. Managing to get his team shattered, halting their advance, I should say. Didn't get any kills, but still a factor in why they kind of struggled here. Exo, you need to stay with your team, and he's holding his shatter for too long. There's only 90 seconds left. The card needs some serious progress right now. Still ult charge in their favor, but somebody's got to press Q.
Yeah, man, I mean, you can't get that cart moving until you've won that team fight, and we see the rotation now coming out from Eminence, hoping to catch the other team off guard here. The self-destruct does not catch anyone off guard, and the grab manages to catch Honungun though, who goes down. But look at that Shatter there, coming out from Dan's fire strike.
Oh, even bigger!
Counter Shatter though, that is the biggest counter Shatter I've seen in this match so far. Might not matter though, because we see the Transcendence coming out from I'll Be the Best. She's managing to keep Team Quickstart alive. Counter Transcendence from Doggo there, great patience using it after his opposite numbers there. And now Eminence are getting aggressive. However, the defense here want to get aggressive as well. They're going in with the rally. We see the self-destruct come over the top as well, doesn't manage to catch anything. And this is what Eminence needed. This is the break that they needed. They're pushing forward now. I think they've got numbers here. They're happy to bring it up to the corner. And looks like Team Quickstart happy to play the patient game here. They want to go in when they have the advantage, when they've got the opportunity, and they're taking that high ground, looking for that opportunity right now. And the cart has stopped because we've got Dan's on there with his shield up. Shield can only take so much damage though, and now we see the Graviton coming out as well. Exo goes down, Luckstar goes down as well, and what a great defense there. We see the Transcendence from RB the Best, just giving you some love. I can't believe he got a Transcendence up already. He's just pumping in so much damage. He's on the high ground as well, finishing a few people off. RB the Best is living up to his name right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately with that, it is going to be a 2-0 so far for Team Quickstart. Really good play out of Team Quickstart so far. That last fight for Team Eminence Academy, a little unfortunate. You needed to expect that Shatter to come out in the last fight. Got too excited off of that first pick, and then you get shattered.
There is the bomb from Holy Muffins there, getting the 2K. Holy Muffins has been doing such a good job with those self-destructs throughout this series, but I know there's going to be some people on the desk who want to discuss all of the stuff we just saw there. This has been a brilliant matchup so far. So, Trinok and the guys, take it away.
Thank you, Spaceman. Definitely, we want to get into some of the stuff. I want to say all of the stuff. Could take a. I want to look at right now is the divas of both of these games, both of these maps. First game, you had Rayan on the diva, absolutely amazing with the defense matrices. Second map, you had Muffins, Holy Muffins, on that diva and just self-destructs left, right, and center. Panda, you were freaking out about this because you were freaking out about the fact that these self-destructs are having so much value. Why is that the case?
So, just so you all know, because you can't see my face while we're analyzing the match, I sat here like this. I just wanted Bader to live through one self-destruct. I like honestly, there's no reason why a diva should be finding this much usage out of their self-destruct when it's more or less a vanilla self-destruct. The Earth Shatter has more or less been gone for a couple seconds now, that you should be able to find cover. More importantly, what I'm noticing out of Eminence Academy as a whole is that they're not just playing it's much like the last series, right? I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they're not playing the terrain properly. Your shielding is only going to last for so long in this GOATS matchup. Your 2000 HP barrier might as well just be just a wet blanket in this fight. You need to play your corners properly. The self-destruct, the big damaging combos, they're going to be coming through eventually, and you need to be ready for it. But I'm glad that you brought that up too, Chernok, because on the other hand, for Eminence Academy, Rayan has been really doing his best on putting this team on his back through proper defense matrix play and really good peel into his backline too. In case anybody was wondering why Doggo and Puds have continuously getting their support ultimates so quickly, it's because of the defense matrix play of Rayan, always in the back, eating as much as he possibly can, whether it's a Graviton Surge or not. He is there playing his role promptly, not the flashiest diva in the world, but still fulfilling a role to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, it was even a point that you brought up on that first section of Nepal was that they didn't have a diva, that Quickstart didn't have a diva to peel off to defend the backline. They had two main tanks, and it worked out initially because I think it took Eminence by surprise. Zark, what happened after that situation where they took Eminence by surprise with the two main tanks, and then Eminence just came back and capitalized? And what was the case with why is it bad having two main tanks and not putting the diva in there?
Right. Well, with the Winston, you can try and get into the back line a little bit, but it's the back line of the enemy, I should say. But you don't have as much peel. You're not really as helpful to your supports, right? And with these GOATS compositions, you need to keep your supports alive. They do so much healing to keep that tank heavy, those meaty tanks alive, that big tank line alive. But without the diva, you're more susceptible to that damage falling into your backline, taking out your supports. So with Winston, it might be a little bit better for an attacking run initially. You can, get into the enemy backline a little more, but you're not going to have as much protection for supports, and that's really important for tank heavy compositions.
And we've seen teams even do that too, to some high level too. I mean, take Team NRG from North American Contenders. They really enjoyed the double maintain composition, but you need to exert backline oppression on the enemy team so that way your backline doesn't feel any of it whatsoever. But you're right, Sark. I mean, like it's not really working out in the way that they're not using the Winston for peel. They're just going in. They're not literally they're not really looking around too. And even take Nepal that much further too. These different compositions, I guess, infamously known as Snoats now, without the diva and the May in there too. You you leave the backline open to all of this pressure. In one flame strike away, your Zenyatta is just as good as dead. He is one cleave away from being eliminated.
One of the things we did talk about, seeing as you mentioned the Mei, was Eminence. I think they brought the Mei, not using the Mei properly in Nepal. And then when they did bring him out, Panda, you said they had lost the moment they chose the Mei. Why did you say that that was the case?
Well, when you bring out the Mei, right, on Shrine, it was very interesting because Mei is actually better on Village, in my humble opinion. That big box of a point, and you can just wall off, and now the attackers only have one way to walk into the Mei Goats composition. But when you have it on Shrine, the wall was just barely mistimed from Eminence. I believe it was Bader on the Mei, and they almost had all be best out of the fight entirely, but the Discord orb was already on Exo. And like Zark was saying, I mean, when you have the Discord orb on one target, in particular a main tank, and it gets run over, the composition just kind of crumbles down. And you can't play that ult economy game. Not when it's going towards 80%. Regardless of disconnects aside, it still comes down to fundamental play. You need to give up that ult, and you need to go over to a mirror composition. If the enemy team is running goats and you can't dislodge it with the Mei, you need to go that mirror composition or something to debunk it. Maybe an Ana, even a pharmacy, just something different, because building up to that blizzard, I mean, you saw even if they had all 6 members there promptly with their ult charge, it wasn't going to be able to work out. The just Team Quickstart Red, they were able to feed off of all of that ult charge.
Let's move on to Route 66 quickly before we head back into this game. Zark, you said you weren't a fan of the 2 Reinhardt players. Why would you say that? Why did you say that, I should say?
It seemed like they were just kind of throwing their shatters out there, hoping something would stick. Maybe they'd hit 1 or 2, but they weren't really saving them for those big opportunities. I think they definitely could have held onto them a little bit longer and really had some more mind games going on between Reinhardts. I think that would have been a lot more fun to watch and would have worked out better for the teams overall.
Well, let's see if these Rhinos can get their heads back into this game as we head to Hanamura and Spaceman and Beatdown once again. Take us through this game.
Thanks, Trill. Thanks, guys. Some excellent analysis there at halftime, as always. We're going to be going into our next map now, Beats. Looks like it is going to either be Hanamura or Volskaya here. So, what would you pick here, Beats, if you had the choice? Well, sounds like he's got some ideas. He's just having a think about. So looks like we're going to be going to Hanamura anyway. So an interesting choice there from the academy here. Different choice, I think, than their previous than the previous team, because I think Eminence on the first round they won a lot of their matches, so they didn't actually have the opportunity to map pick. So we didn't see what perhaps their coach had told them to pick here. But Hanamura, interesting choice. Beats, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Hanamura is a good choice here. Okay, good. My mic is working. Yeah, Hanamura. Again, like I was just trying to say before my mic tried to silence me. It's all 2CP, man. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. No, I'm definitely memeing. There's still a lot of value here in this map. This actually might work out for Eminence because they like to run the Mei. This is definitely a place where the Mei is actually viable. And like Panda said on the desk, you could run that the triple support with the Mei. I'm not calling it that name.
What, it was Snoots?
No.
But yeah, I like seeing Mei on the first point here. But again, it's all about the timing of those walls. When the attacking team's pushing through that gateway there, you want to cut them in two. If you're a little bit too early, a little bit too late, you've lost the effectiveness of that wall.
Ready for battle.
Agreed. So now we're going to see Quickstart on this offense here. Not going to talk about them whatsoever because they're the attacking spawn. No trust. Eminence, on the other hand, the Zen Goats on the defense. Pretty standard stuff. It's basically going to depend on what we see on the attack, whether it's the mirror. They got to win that Rhine v Rhine matchup. If they they actually play this DPS Mei Wrecking Ball, what am I looking at? Then it's going to be a little more difficult for them because they're not going to have any way to really deal with this Pharah unless Rayon just glues himself to Phlegm. Oh, this is happening. Oh my god, this is really happening. Spaceman.
I'm just excited here. We're going to see the Wrecking Ball dive with Phlegm on the Pharah and Hanungan on the Widow. They're looking to get some early picks here so that they can push through. Dan's going just to cause some disruption, hopefully knock some people into the air to make them easy targets for his DPS. And look at this, they're already through, pumping the damage down from that high ground, building up the charge. Hanungan gets the headshot onto Plus there, gets the 2k, finishes off Doggo, both supports down for the defense here. This is a crazy strategy I've seen from Team Quickstart here, but it's worked well. It worked to their strengths here. They're going to take first point, no issue whatsoever.
Yeah, they played this really well, running Phlegm onto the left side, setting up that crossfire. So much damage just on his own that you cannot ignore him, especially when damage boosted. Exo turns the shield. Hanungan's like, oh, hello, Pud's head. How are you today? Gone.
And look at this, they're switching up their composition here. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, this is like really excellent. No ults were built. This is purely just for a quick fight win. And honestly, they're really not behind an ult charge at all. I'll be the best halfway to the trans. The only one ahead here is Puds. And that's literally it.
Oh, we see the dive now coming in from the defense. Eminence Edge looking to try and stop the snowball early on. And I don't think Team Quickstart care too much about that. Phlegm certainly doesn't with the flail. Picks it. They want to get aggressive now. They're getting onto the point, and Eminence here just trying to regroup, stall it out a bit. Ryan does get demexed, but is stopping that percentage ticker from going up. He's trying to stop the first tick here. However, Luckstar falls as well. There's so many staggers on the side of the defense. Team Quickstart are just happy to take those staggers. They want the defense here coming in one by one. They don't want the whole team coming out. They've already got one tick. They've got two ticks here as well. They're that extra armor. We do see, however, the self-destruct come out. Doesn't manage to catch anyone. An excellent bubble there from the Zarya, from Hanungan, keeping himself alive. There's a counter self-destruct as well, a zoning ult, if you will. We will see the Graviton coming out, catching some of the attacking team in it. But look at that kill feed. It's all in favor of Team Quickstart here. We see the Transcendence now coming out from Doggo, just trying to keep his team alive till they get back. Paz now comes in with the sound barrier as well, and this is just crazy. Like, the staggers are real, and it looks as though Team Quickstart are going to be able to take this. But Exo saying no, comes in, tries to get the shot, doesn't manage to, and Luckstar will fall. Wow, what a dominant performance here from Team Quickstart.
5.5 minutes on their overtime round. Should we even get their Spaceman? That's ludicrous. And now, so you see a couple issues here. Team Eminence, yeah, upon realizing their comp wasn't really, or at least they decided their comp wasn't working, they go for the swap. Not exactly the best pick. They probably should have stuck to the Zen Goats because, for instance, you want to keep that Rhine ult charge because they made the swap as well on the sides of Team Quickstart. So you lose ult, what's the word I'm looking for? You lose on the ult economy there. The fact that you go to the Dive Goats on a map where like the point B of Hanamura is very open. So like it was said before, if you're going to run that comp, the Dive Goats in a way, you need a lot more cover to make up for the fact that Winston doesn't have a static shield. And because that was an issue, they tried it, realized it didn't work, then swapped back to Goats. And when you do that, you're just way behind an ult charge now.
Yeah, I mean, Team Quickstart really starting quickly on Hanamura here, but they're going to look to slow things down somewhat now that they're in defense. And we got Flaushy on the Ana, and I think that's the first time we've seen Ana played this game.
Yeah, I actually believe it is an A. And Flaushy is as good at this Ana as he is on Lucio. I'm very interested to see how this is going to go. Still, the lack of speed boost on the Goats is, actually, on the Hanamura defense, point A, it's definitely not outside of the question to run Ana here. There are a lot of angles for her to get the abilities off, the sleep dart, the biotic grenade. So it's really all going to be about how well you can get those abilities. Otherwise, this comp will fall apart. And look at Vader. No May on the defense, but it's on the attack. Spaceman, what's happening?
Oh my gosh, using that wall to get through the high ground. I don't think Quickstart were expecting that. And now, Eminence here, able to just get to point. They're using their cover just to avoid some poke damage. Blousy's going to need to hit some good nades here because the defense don't have the Lucio. They don't have the speed, but they might not need it because both teams are now on point, brawling it out here. And both teams looking for that first kill, looking for the advantage here. And Beta just managing to try and freeze people, but Holy Muffins manages to get the first kill with the melee onto Luckstar to finish Luckstar off. Exo though gets Flaushy, so the defending team have lost a lot of healing. That could prove pivotal. It's a 5v5 at the moment, and the attacker just happy to play this snow. Use that May to great effect. May with the self-healing there as well in the ice block, trying to freeze a few people. Puds there with the boop on Tanungan, and they're going to take first point. And what a great strategy using that ice wall to get over the high ground.
Yeah, and it did end up working out really well to, isolate I'll be the best, preventing a lot of damage coming in that we're used to him throwing out. And it was basically he was constantly blocked off. Now they're making this push on the left side.
It's great use of the Maywalls.
I don't think Quickstart is ready for this next one. They don't need. Okay, no, they know where they are.
Yeah, maybe they're expecting it. I mean, they're on the high ground anyway, so they can be able to down, and that's exactly what they're doing. The Maywall there, stopping some of the range damage until they can readjust it. But look at that shatter coming out from Dan. That's exactly what they need. But there's a blizzard into the grab here. So Beta gets the pick onto Flem, but they've already lost Doggo, already lost Exo. I think this attack has been shut down already. But a great strategy there for them. They've obviously practiced that one before.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's pretty interesting. No May on the side of Eminence Esports. So actually, I think it was, it was Rayan who actually lobbed that Graviton Surge from the distance, but it actually ended up landing. Really dangerous game, but still didn't catch anybody. Not enough value out of that ult. Luckily, they still got double support ult. They still have the Shatter. There's a lot that can made to happen here, but they need to be sure to shut down Hanungan's grab in this next fight, because he is definitely going to have it.
Looking to take that high ground now, give themselves a better position to rain down those Zen orbs. They're going to rotate here, looking for an opportunity, and now they say no. You know what? We're just going to go straight to point here. We see the self-destruct though coming out from Holy Muffins. Doesn't manage to catch anyone. We do have the nano though onto Dance, who's just swinging away. And now we've got the Graviton coming out, but there's a Transcendence in response. Dance doesn't get so much damage going in there. Luxor does fall, and also the nade there from the defense from Flaushy. So pivotal in helping them wrap up this fight.
Yeah, the beauty of grabbing those corners is that, yeah, your Zen can trance, but if your Zen gets stuck on one side and somebody is stuck on the other corner, they're not going to get any healing because Transcendence is a line of sight ultimate. So even if they're right next to you, if you're being obstructed by something, even a shield, you're not actually going to get that healing. So that's how they are in the middle of that fight. Lost Luckstar, then they lost Doggo. So there's really nothing else they could have done. They still have some good ults here. They have the grab, but I'll be the best here. Has the Transcendence as well. So there's a lot of shutdown potential.
There is a lot of shutdown indeed, but there's still 4.5 minutes left on the clock here. So both teams here probably pretty comfortable again. It looks as though Eminence are taking the same route here, and they do get an early pick onto I'll be the best. Doggo killing his opposite number. Now look at this, all the picks here going in favour of the attackers. Eminence Esports getting aggressive here, looking to take advantage, clear that point, start getting that ticking up. They're definitely going to get first tick here. Most probably going to get second. Yes, they are. And now is there? Oh my gosh, the Shatter there, just trying to keep people out the door by Exo, but we do get the transcending I'll be the best onto point, who's just looking to delay, and now the Nano Dan's on point, swinging away. Kills his opposite number, Exo. Flem's back on, diving down. He gets a 2k here. Oh my gosh, Eminence just Team Quickstart there, just able to get onto the point and clear it at the very, very end. So patient coming back as a team together.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of props to I'll be the best, predicting the Shatter, reacting just in time to actually get off the Transcendence, meaning the Shatter was actually wasted. Because if you think about it, yeah, you prevented them from getting on the point, but they didn't die. You just stalled them. You couldn't do anything about I'll be the best, who was 50% to another trans, by the way. Is that allowed? Can you do that,
I'm not sure it is. Just pumping out so much damage on that Zenyatta. You cannot charge on fast unless you're hitting your headshots with those orbs. And it looks like the same strategy here from Eminence Academy. Doggo falls early though, it's a 6v5. The defense here are looking to take advantage of this, wrap this up quickly. And I think Eminence know this. They're going to want to just regroup as quickly as possible, die fast or get back.
Yeah, now again, although Bader gets that exit kill, it really doesn't matter. Hunnigan will be out of spawn any second now. Quick start. Looking really good. Down to 2.5 minutes on this defense. And Eminence Academy still struggling here, ramming their heads against this wall. This next fight is going to be really tough for them as favorite bank combo online, as well as the Earth Shatter, and not a whole lot to respond with from the other side here. Yeah, they got the trans and the rally, but ideally that won't work for them.
Oh, another aggressive defense here. We see the shatter, we see the grab coming out as well, which forces the transcendence from Doggo. No kills on either side here. 2 ults expended for the defense. Now we see this ult struck coming over. Doesn't manage to catch any of the defenders. However, the transcendence now coming out from be the best. And now, it's actually too early. They're caught in the graviton there. However, be the best gets a pick onto Luckstar, and there's no follow-up on that graviton. The defense here with the advantage. Ryan goes off the side, and it looks as though the offense here are going to have to reset, but they managed to get a few ults out of the defense here.
Yeah, it was the right call for Puds to not commit the sound barrier. It was all going to be about that last fight in the sense that if nobody on Eminence died before the the sound barrier came up, you absolutely commit it because that would have given them the advantage. They would have finished the round, but they lost Luckstar, really key player in this comp, so he decided to hold it. Now they have it in this next one, but Team Quickstart right back at it again with double support ults and still another shatter.
And Holy Muffin just trying to boot people off the edge there, doesn't quite manage to. Both teams on point. There's a shatter coming out from Dan's back. Counter shatter there from Exo. Might just steal the deal, but the Transcendence again coming out from be the best. He's getting at least one Transcendence per fight here. Puds falls. There's only 50 seconds left on the clock. Vader, though, manages to finish off Dan's with the missiles, and they're attacking now with the use of the Transcendence of their own from Doggo. Vader there as well with the self-destruct, gets the pick onto Flauschy. This could be what Eminence Academy need. They're pushing forward. They're trying to get those kills. And look at that, though. Flem is just bubbled with the rally, pushing away. Manages to finish off Luckstar. And there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. Eminence Esports Academy are going to have to get back together quick. And the defense knows this. They're just getting the staggers here.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough for them. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to finish. 15 seconds onto this point. They don't have the strongest ultimates. Exo Shatter cannot be blocked. But the problem here is that I'll be the best is going to get another chance in this fight, given his track record. And no support ults anywhere near online for Eminence Esports. They're not going to have any sustain.
And do they get to the point? They just about managed to. Overtime is ticking down. The grab keeps them off it, though. They just managed to touch it. We see the self-destruct come over the top as well. And now Exo comes down with the shatter, but gets pinned to the wall there. We see the Transcendence coming out from I'll be the best. He just had Transcendences for days in this entire fight. And now the rest of Eminence Esports pushing on to point with the Transcendence of their own. Doggo looking to keep his team alive, but they need to keep someone on the point or their dreams might not be alive for the rest of this fight. The overtime is ticking down. They're just managing to touch here, but look at that kill feed, all in favor of the defenders. And Team Quickstart make a quick finish to this match.
Yeah, that is a clean 3-0. They are now 7-0 so far in the open division. Again, with Eminence Esports, a little too late, just a little too slow in building up those support ults, and we saw it. Doggo came in the shatter, but it was with the trans, but it was too little too late.
Yeah, I thought we saw some good shatters from both Reinhardts this
Yeah.
particular game. However, there was just so much sustain, so many Transcendences, especially from I'll be the best, to keep people alive that you just couldn't follow up on it. But I'm sure that there's a desk that is champing at the bit to discuss what we've just seen, which was a very dominant performance from Team Quickstart there. So Trinok and the guys, take it away.
Dominant performance indeed, Spaceman. And like I said, the best, constantly sitting on those Transcendences. Basically every team fight, he had a Transcendence or he was right there before a Transcendence and got it up in time. A bit of a opposite situation to the previous map where Eminence main came out 3-0 on top. Now Eminence Academy, fortunately not finding their footing, being a bit disoriented. Zark, I believe at one point you said they looked a bit confused, a bit lost.
Yeah, they look kind of lost to me. I mean, you know, they had some interesting ideas to try and attack that second point, but it felt rushed. Their rotations didn't feel very clean. Whereas Quickstart, they looked very composed. They looked ready to address whatever Eminence were going to throw at them. And yeah, Eminence just seemed a little lost.
Eminence seemed, throwing something. That's for sure. I mean, we were highlighting it there too. I mean, you walk out of Hanamura point A attack, right? And I know I'm getting ahead of myself because they attack second. But you walk out with the Mei, and you wall over the window. The enemy team doesn't have a Mei. So you're using a wall cooldown effectively for nothing and barely find anything is one of those things that you need to be careful of. They're missing these opportunities ever so slightly, Trinak.
They're missing opportunities, but they're taking advantage. No, sorry, they're missing opportunities, and Quickstart is taking advantage of all
That's
their
right.
mistakes. Because I mean, sorry, Panda, you talk.
No, I'm just sitting here just agreeing with you because I mean, we were conversing about it while we were analyzing Hanamura. What this comes down to is how you play the Goats comp. The Goats comp is a hyper version of Deathball. I know I'm going back a little bit. Remember Dive, guys? You remember Dive? But the way that Deathball is supposed to be played out, you're supposed to stack on top of Reinhardt. And without stacking on top of Reinhardt, you're forced out to these, what me and Trinak were talking about, these squad compositions. And when you're branched off and the triple support isn't playing together, the 3 tanks aren't playing together, and you're not stacked to 6, you're not gaining the full effects. 2 members probably aren't gaining the effects of Inspire, which is Brigette's passive of healing individuals. You're not in the right position to pounce on top of Discord orbs, of which Doggo was wonderfully placing. And effectively, you're not in the speed boost, which is the most important part of the Goats composition. So you need to be able to recognize these targets that are out of position and take advantage of that. Now, on the other hand, Quickstart, they were doing a fantastic job of this, and I'll tell you why. The Eminence as a whole, the way that they were positioning themselves, more importantly, Luckstar on the Brigitte was very out of position. Always looking for these very aggressive shield bashes, always looking for these out of the mill play style and flashier plays, I guess you could say, for Brigitte, and they were just pouncing on top of him. I mean, Zarya was so high charge. Holy Muffins was right there, just obliterating with the micro missiles into him as well. And then we got to talk about Dan's. I mean, you want to know how Dan's was getting those Earth Shatters so quickly? It's because Brigitte was so far forward on the front line, over sustaining the enemy Reinhardt and the Zarya, that all Dan's had to do was just sit there and just be like, hey, you got a friendly bubble? Cool. And then he has an Earth Shatter again. It's just as easy as that. But it all comes down to just Quickstart Red just stacking on top of each other where Eminence was not.
And that's a Panda sound pack coming to your Overwatch game soon.
Thank you.
One of the things we also picked up on was when they did switch off of the Mei, they held it a bit too long. They did switch off of it eventually, and Beta went on to Diva, and he left the Zarya on. Oh man, no,
Rayan.
I just feel bad because of his name. Rayan, yeah. Left Zarya and Rayan, so they kind of switched roles there, whereas unfamiliar roles, and you saw Beta being a bit more aggressive on the Diva. Why was that a large factor in this? I'm going to throw this one to Zark because Panda speaks a lot.
Sure. Well, so yeah, when you're playing a little bit more aggressive with the Diva, it's like harkening back to what we talked about with Paul when Quickstar had run the Winston instead of a Diva, right? If you're playing that Diva more aggressive, you're not doing enough to protect your backline. You're not going to be trying to soak up some of that damage that's going to hit your supports. So yeah, that's kind of just the problem with playing too aggressive. You're not going to protect your supports enough. So it kind of left the backline open a little bit and led to some positional errors. So I think that, they definitely want to keep Ryan on the Zarya rather than his normal Diva because they had already gotten so much ult charge. So I understand sticking to that game plan, but when you're not running the optimal hero pool for your players, it's gonna hurt you, and it certainly did there.
And it showed because they didn't take a single map, so there's definitely some kind of lack of synergy amongst this team. I mean, such stellar players in their own rights just need to find a way to work together better, especially when they come across a team that is of the same level as them. Obviously, the previous games might not have been such a team of the same class, and maybe they've had an easy ride. As what happens in these Swiss tournaments, you can have a bit of an easy journey up until you face teams. You get to this stage where you start facing teams that are going to match you and be able to capitalize on those mistakes. Panda, do you have some final thoughts, especially for the academy team going in now? They have lost a game. They wanting to make playoffs or go through the playoffs, and also for Quickstart, who are looking really strong going into playoffs.
Well, here's a resurfacing conversation from our first match, right? So the Swiss format will always have you playing teams of your caliber, the way that it's supposed to be played out in these open division series. But taking a loss here for Eminence Academy, it is not the end of the world. You want about a buffer of 1 or 2 losses to still keep your playoff hopes alive. So hopefully they can take this footage and learn from it from Eminence main and proper, and actually go forward into their next series and hopefully make it into playoffs where we'll see them again. But you're definitely right, Tranok. I think Quickstart Red here, they definitely have the able guns, if you will. They understand how to play their composition, aka goats, and they're playing it very effectively. They're not switching around roles. They're not switching around positioning. Hell, they're hardly even switching how they play the style of goats. It's just very in your face and very progressive. And I think if Eminence can take a page out of that book and see how to proactively play goats rather than just spawn into Hanamura and decide that this is what we're going to be doing, but then assess the situation like how Quickstart was doing, we have a very strong team in our hands, and both these teams are very strong, keep in mind you, but Team Eminence are just missing just a little bit of what Team Quickstart Red had.
Perhaps Team Eminence can get some tips from Eminence main. Definitely need to just help tighten them up. Zark, final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think that Eminence, they definitely showed they have a potential. Obviously, you know, going 3-0 hurts you a little bit, but they can definitely take this footage, like Panda was saying, go back and do some stuff. But I really think that, you know, looking at what Eminence Esports, the kind of parent team, if you will, for Eminence Academy, looking at what they did really well in their match and bringing it to a comparison with what they did here, I think could be really valuable. And then for Quickstart Red, I mean, again, they looked like they were ready for whatever Eminence Academy threw at them. They had really good rotations. I think that this was a really solid game, and I look forward to seeing these two teams continue to go through open division and continue win games.
Definitely going to be looking forward to these two teams continuing forward. They've got a few more games left before playoffs get decided, so it's going to be exciting to watch these guys journey on and maybe journey on with seasons after. That is going to be all from us here at the Analyst Disc and from the casters of Spaceman and Beat. Thank you everyone for watching. Please make sure to check out Broadcast GG. Get involved if you want to be involved in casting scene. We are a happy community of casters and shoutcasters and esports enthusiasts who love talking about the stuff, love doing this stuff, and we're always looking for people to get involved and help out as much as possible and share the passion with us. So check us out, Broadcast GG. It's links everywhere on the channel. And from me, Tranok, Panda, Zark, Spaceman, and Beatdown, we'll see you guys again. Please tune in later for the NA Week 4 games that will be happening.